All right, everybody. Welcome back to the What's Next podcast. I'm your host, Levi Casada, and the guy behind the scene, Tony Hernandez. Hello,
Whoop,
how you
whoop.
doing? Yeah.
What's up, everybody?
Yeah. Hey, so Tony, I just realized this last night. I don't know why, but I was counting on the wall because we have a wall of fame of all the agents who've been through here.
Mm-hmm.
This is our 20th episode.
Yeah,
That's huge, right?
it is a big deal.
20,
Yeah.
you got to make it past a certain point. We're still
Exactly.
going. People are still maybe
Yeah.
watching. I don't know.
Yeah.
But you know
They
what?
are.
It's,
They are.
yeah, we're going to have a good time.
For the two people that always watch your podcast,
Yeah.
thank you so much.
I did run into an agent yesterday who says she watches it. So I was like,
There we
hey,
go.
that's good.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome.
That's
well,
cool.
you know, always.
Is that your wife?
Yes. All right. You caught me. No, she would never watch this. I don't know. Okay, well, today we got another special guest. This is going to be a very interesting podcast because I don't think we've had someone on here before. She is such an amazing agent and strives herself. She actually calls herself the ADU agent from the Kappel team. Sherry Chen, welcome to the podcast.
Thank you so much, Levi.
Yeah. First podcast?
First podcast, yes.
All right.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me.
Are you nervous?
A little bit nervous, but mostly excited.
Yeah, of course. I don't know if I get nervous anymore. I do. Well, Tony knows. I think it's more nervous energy.
Yeah.
Like he saw me today at 12:30. I'm like vacuuming and doing stuff, and I'm like, "Let's go. We got it to get going. Come on, Tony." So like, I don't feel nervous, but I think I project.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah,
you're setting up the cameras all calm. And
Yeah. Because I already, I've done this. We've done this so many times. But, I'm right back here, right? Like, you guys don't see me.
Mm-hmm.
But he's, always like, oh, I need to get the guest. I don't know her Instagram.
no, I definitely do my
Follows me
research
10 minutes before.
the wrong Instagram. Darn it.
Researching on some other lady.
I know, some other lady. Well, we're going to have great information about the other.
Yeah,
Sherry.
she's a cat lady, you know.
Well, I always love to start the show. I got some good ones today too, Tony.
All right, let's do it.
An icebreaker, just to get calm, just to
okay,
relax. So I know,
all
get
right.
those nerves out. There's no wrong answer. We'll answer too. Would you rather questions?
Oh, wow. Okay.
You're like, sometimes they get deep, sometimes they don't, sometimes they're funny. We'll see.
Yeah.
This is kind of funny that this is the first question because you just talked about this today about anger. Okay, would you rather never get angry or never be envious?
Never be envious. Because
Never
that's
be.
just negative energy that doesn't do anything.
Sometimes you need that little anger, right? To
Yeah.
get that fuel, that fire.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, someone else got the offer. I'm angry about that. Let's push harder for the next one.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a good way to turn that around.
There you go.
Yeah. Because some people would pick like, oh, I don't want to be angry. I want to be, but there's sometimes you got to let it out. Sometimes you got to scream because you are. Like, I
Yeah.
sat in traffic yesterday and I watched people driving crazy. And if I didn't have anger, it would be, man, I don't know. I guess both ways. But you're right. Envious
Yeah,
would be.
exactly.
Yeah, envy
Yeah.
is just like poison, right? Anger is a natural
It will eat at you.
response. Yeah.
You're just stuck on it.
Yeah.
You will never let it go.
Yeah.
Because you could look at it that way like, oh, they got the deal. God, I wish I really got that deal.
And then you
It's
feel
like,
your self-confidence just lowers, and it's just not good.
Yeah, I think maybe envious is you wish you were that person.
right.
And anger is you just angry at you because you didn't perform the way you know you can.
right.
Right.
It drives you.
Yeah.
Right.
That's
Envy is not productive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good answer. Oh, that's a good one. Okay.
Yeah, good.
I like that.
Great start.
Good start. Okay. Would you rather be held in high regards by your parents or your friends?
My friends.
Yeah, right?
That was fast.
That was fast.
That was quick.
Super fast.
You don't even finish.
No, usually people are like, and then I got to answer. Why your friends?
Let me elaborate.
Yeah,
I'm the oldest in my family. I have a younger sister. It's just the two of us.
That explains it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Right. So and in our family, I've always been the rebel. I've always done the crazy stuff. Right after
as the oldest?
as the oldest. Usually it's the other way around.
Usually it's the middle child.
My sister is the stable one, thank God. Yeah, but I've always, I really go after every opportunity I can get.
Right.
So I'm very open to that, and it's been consistent throughout my career. After college, I moved to San Francisco on a whim, bought a one-way ticket, got myself an apartment. and lived there for 3 years, had a blast. I worked 6 different jobs
Wow.
from pastry chef all the way to leasing luxury apartments to working in tech to selling $10 kale chips at the Ferry Building.
Wow.
Yeah.
So I've done so many things, and I've always been like a go-getter in that way. It's just
Yeah.
like every opportunity that comes in front of me, I'll grab it.
Right.
And that way, that definitely stressed out my parents a lot, who are, Asian parents. And their dream was always, for me to be a doctor or a lawyer,
Yeah.
typical story. But now they are very proud of what I do as a real estate agent. And so, yeah, but that's why I said that. That's my answer.
Yeah. But your friends, you rather be held in, because you're surrounded by good people and
Yes.
you want to be held in that way.
I hold my friendships and my relationships in life, I hold them to a very high regard.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
That's
I value
amazing.
my relationships.
Good. Yeah. I moved out of Arizona about 8 years ago. So like all my friends are back there. So it's a little tough. Like I had to build new relationships and stuff like that. And I do I don't know. Like it's just, for some reason, I don't know if it's a Hispanic thing,
What?
but like my dad, like I just always want him to be proud of me, which I know he is, but that's just like, my mom is always the loving one and will always be like,
Right.
da da da. But I remember playing sports and doing other things. It was like, it's not that he never said, he wasn't hard on me, like mean to me, but he always was critical. Like, you could have done this better. Did you feel like you worked hard enough when you were playing? Da, 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 da. And so,
Well, that's what dads do.
I just
think,
feel,
yeah, that's their job.
so maybe it's just the sons or something, but that I feel like if I'm held high in his regard, like I'd be set for life.
I think because I have a daughter, so I think we're more like about performance, like how we do perform out there in the world.
Yeah, true.
And the mom is more like, it was a hard day,
Yeah.
I'm tired.
No,
Emotional support.
Exactly, yeah.
Oh yeah, because my daughter does musical theater stuff, and I'll watch, and I'm like, don't be your dad, don't be my dad, don't be my dad, and I can't help it. I'm like, oh, you could have smiled here where you did, but I know I don't. I'm like, that's great, but I'm thinking that,
Yeah.
and I don't want her to feel that like pressure or like.
Yeah, well, at that age, you just let her have fun.
Yeah,
Yeah.
well, it's a good balance. 'Cause
Later
my
on-
wife does let them have fun. And
Because later on, if there's something that she really wants to do as a career, then you can be like, okay, let's be serious now,
Yeah.
and you can just
here's the list I made from.
remember in third grade.
I know, right? All right, well, you're nailing these. All right,
Oh,
let's
that's
see.
it? Oh, cool.
That's it. Yeah, we can keep talking about this all day. I love it. Okay, let's see. Would you rather be transported permanently 500 years into the future or 500 years into the past? I tell you what, this one's a tough one for me.
500 years. What year was that?
500 years.
500 years. You're
And the
looking
1500s.
at 15.
1500s. We're talking about medieval Europe, depending on which
So
part of the world you're in.
permanently.
So the plague happened.
So
but
pretty
we
much,
also
uh,
just had
Well,
a
I mean,
plague.
if it happens,
Are we talking about Game of Thrones?
we're
Is that
talking
what
about, we're talking about, medieval time. So it's depending on which part of the world you are located, right? If you're in the Americas, I mean, you're kind of set, you're good from all diseases and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But
Okay, this might got a little too deep.
I'm just
We need a
spitting,
history book right now.
I am
know.
just spitting facts, okay?
I'm thinking the only reason I'm singing this is because you at least know, like you're spitting facts right now, so you kind of know what you're to expect. You're going
Getting
back there.
yourself into, yeah.
You're going.
Yeah.
500 years. We were just talking about this yesterday.
Yeah,
About
true.
AI. Like we could all of a sudden 500 years in the future, and robots are like the whole destruction of the
Yeah.
world, and people are like non-existent.
Yeah,
So it's
nuclear war or whatever.
yeah.
You don't know. You don't know what to
that's,
say.
Hey, that's the future.
Yeah,
That's
you
why they
might
call it the future.
And that's the question, like, where will you show up? Can you pick and choose where you appear?
Sure, why not?
Or can you just, like, where you at and that happens, that's where you show up?
It didn't specify, but I'm pretty sure you can just make up whatever you like.
Whether or not,
You know
okay.
what?
Yeah,
I'm going to
Sherry,
go
what do
with
you-
my gut. I'm going to go with my gut.
Go with your gut.
And I'm going to go to the past.
You're gonna go back to
Yeah.
the past.
Yeah.
Medieval times, there was a lot of great art and culture that happened in Italy, which I'm going in 4 months with my husband for our honeymoon.
There we go.
So maybe that's like inspiring this answer.
Yeah.
Because I love art and also I already know what to expect.
Yeah.
You know,
You do.
when I think about the future with all the climate change that's going on and it just seems bleak to me. I don't
Right.
know. Yeah.
No, I think that's what it is. Is the AI. I mean,
Aliens.
just our weather the other day. I mean, it's been crazy. So
Right,
just
right.
the waves that are going over the boardwalks now and hitting the homes, you're like,
Yeah.
oh, that's
That was insane. I saw it on Instagram.
Yeah.
500 years from now, those homes will not be
We
there.
might
like,
be underwater,
yeah.
you know?
yeah, it's just,
Yeah.
you're right. I thought so too. Go in the past.
That's yeah.
All right. Would you rather live your entire life in a virtual reality where all your wishes are granted or just normal real world?
Normal real world.
Yeah.
100%.
Do you think we're getting to that place though
Yeah.
with the virtual reality?
Yeah. Look at Meta. I
Right?
still don't really know what it is. But
It's, yeah. It goes back. And I think our conversation, Tony and I kind of did a podcast, a little mini podcast the other day, but this has kind of inspired some of these questions is my son is 6. And he can put on that virtual reality and be in there and dominate games. And we put, Tony was like, he tried it on the other day. He's like, what do I do? So we're already behind.
that would be me.
Yeah, we're behind, but these kids are already living in it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, every kid, when I like go out to a restaurant or something, the parents are sitting at the table and the kids are just on their phones. And I'm like, by the time they're 18, what are they going to be able to do from the palm of
Right.
their hand?
Yeah.
We were talking about teleportation. Like, is that a thing? And I'm like, it's already here because virtual reality is the same thing.
Right.
My father-in-law picked up the Quest or whatever, the
VR?
virtual, the VR, and he bought stock in Facebook, even more stock in Facebook because he's like, I can sit at home and be like comfortable because he's older and go to Italy,
Yeah.
and check out all the museums
Yeah.
like in a virtual world. So he's teleported himself there, no crowds, no standing in line. You know, the only thing you don't experience is really the culture and the, the
Right,
food
right.
and
Yeah. Which
know.
is huge.
which is
Yeah.
huge, which will never go away.
Well, I mean, they have the sensors now. No, for real. You have seen
For
it.
food?
It's going to be like a little tablet that you're
Maybe.
like,
Oh my
Well,
God. Like Willy Wonka status?
Right.
Yeah.
Well, they have a sensor now that you put it on, and then another person on the other side of the world poses something similar, and then you can just go like this. So those sensors connect to your body, right?
Oh, you can
it was
hug
the
people.
hug.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what we saw. But that
Yeah.
kind of fizzled out after it was during COVID.
Well, yeah, but
They
it's
were
not going
doing it.
away. The technology is there.
No, it's not going away,
Yeah.
but they really advertised.
What we talked about the other day is like technology when it barely appears, it might seem like messy and like it's not very good. But the only thing that happens with technology is that once it's here,
Right.
it just improves. You know?
Yeah. It will get better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
They're
maybe
going
the
to find
taste
different
buds.
ways to use the same technology.
Yeah.
All right. That was a good one. I like that one too. All right. This one is interesting because this is inspired by somebody else. Would you rather live without hot water for showers, baths, or live without a washing machine?
What?
Yeah.
Messed up question.
Would you rather live without hot water showers? The reason I brought this up is because one of our friends, one of the sales agents here, does a cold plunge every morning. So I'm like, Nathan. So I just wonder, like,
Of course.
can you? Yeah, no. Is he going to sustain that? But like,
Yeah.
can you just take cold showers all the time? I can't live without a
I
washing
can.
machine.
I
I'm
can.
sorry.
I can take cold showers.
Yeah, that's why I'd rather
Yeah.
take a cold shower than
Then yeah,
my clothes not be
I don't want to do it by hand.
dialed in.
Man, that would take forever doing it by hand.
And then you say water, you take showers faster. You know?
True.
That's true.
Your water bill is gonna.
Oh my God, you're making a case for it.
Yeah.
I guess I can't live without a washing machine because I hate doing laundry in the first place.
Right.
And if there's no washing machine, what am I going to do?
Yep.
By hand.
Just
By
wear
hand.
disposable clothes.
Wow.
Right. Well, you know what? If you go back 500 years, there's not going to be any washing
Right.
machines.
So maybe I should
Yeah.
practice. Yeah.
or
I'll keep my
hot water.
showers.
Like a little of both. There was fire. There was fire.
There was
so
fire for
okay.
sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I feel like I feel like we could still get hot water somewhere. We could boil it.
You can
Yeah,
boil
just
it.
need
Yeah.
to wait a little.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Just wait. Put it
And
in a
not burn
bucket.
yourself, yeah.
Put it in a bucket. You know, hang it somewhere. How did you hot water?
All right. I got just 2 more questions here.
Got it. Yeah.
All right. Would you rather? This one I meant to ask on the last one. I really like this one because it's very interesting. Would you rather live in a world where everything was free, but you had to work 20 hours a day, or in a world where nothing was free, but you only had to work a normal 8-hour day? So it's kind of like living
that
now.
where we live now?
Yeah, it's kind of living now,
Yeah.
but everything's free, but you really have to. You work in 20 hours a day.
No, then it's not worth it. Then I'm just gonna be working.
I was being interviewed, Tony.
I'm sorry.
Jesus, Tony.
Just kidding.
No, right? Tony,
like,
this is Tony's
I got
favorite
so
part.
into
it. He'll be quiet for the next hour after this.
No, I agree with Tony. What's the point of living if you're just working all the time? You can't even enjoy the free stuff that you're supposed to.
You have
get.
4 hours. Like, when do you sleep? The 4 hours you sleep,
Yeah.
I guess, there's nothing free really at that point.
And only 4 hours? I can't survive on that.
You can't. What's your normal?
I like a solid 8.
You do a solid 8?
6 to 8 hours.
6 to 8. I can do 6 to 8. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
How many do you do?
5 to 6.
5.
If I can get 8 in, that'd be
That's
amazing.
good. Yeah.
Straight, I don't think I have had 8 hours since I was young. I wake up in the middle of the night. I'm a light sleeper.
Oh,
Yeah.
got it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Are you deep sleeper?
I am, but my habit is going to sleep late. So that's something I'm trying to work on this year.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
TV on, books.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or,
All of it.
Or just Instagram sometimes.
Instagram. I know.
TikTok.
I think I'm like,
We're looking at listings.
I know. I'm like, is my wife asleep? And then I look over her, and her phone is just like at the back of my head.
There's an ambient glow.
Yeah, she's like, what is? I thought you
It's
were
just
sleeping
hard.
hours ago.
It's just hard to disconnect, right? Sometimes.
Right.
Yeah.
After a long day. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just hard to
Absolutely.
like get your mind like, okay, I'm done working.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna relax. Stuff.
Sometimes you get deep. You go deep,
Yep.
too deep. The spiral,
Yeah, exactly.
the rabbit hole. All right, the last one. Would you rather have super sensitive taste or super sensitive hearing? The one that stumps you. Wow.
Actually, I will say I would rather have super sensitive taste because I'm a huge foodie. I used to be a pastry chef, and I find a lot of joy in food.
Yeah.
And so if I can taste things better, that would bring me a lot of joy. If I were to hear things better, I feel like I'd be eavesdropping all the time.
Right?
And
You
feeling,
would be.
what are they saying? What are they saying?
She say what?
Constantly on alert.
Yeah.
And so I would say taste.
Taste.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what's super sensitive. I guess if you take what your taste is now, but enhance it. The reason I ask this is because I know you're a foodie.
Yeah.
I love that. For me, you get older, it's hard hearing. Like, I'm getting older. I kid you not. It's like I hate asking someone what, like 3 to 4 times to
Oh,
where
yeah.
you have to lie by the 4th
You're
time,
just
where
like
you're just
smiling and nodding.
you're
Oh,
like, yeah, and they're still looking at you like, no, that was a question. I'm all. So I'd rather have super sensitive hearing where I can hear just
That's
everything, even though I'm not eavesdropping, but I like.
That's
A chimoso.
Yeah,
I like
chismoso,
that. I
yeah.
like how would you explain that?
Noisy?
No, but the like gossip.
Yeah.
that what that is?
It's noisy,
yeah,
you know.
noisy.
Yeah, gossip.
Nosy.
So you want to hear all the
Nosy,
gossip?
yeah.
Yeah, nosy. Like, what's going on over there?
Yeah, exactly.
But I also like to hear people clear. So
it,
where
just
did
to survive? Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Where did all this start? So you grew up in San Diego. You're San Diego native or no?
Well, I was born in LA,
Okay.
and I moved to San Diego with my family. My parents were always entrepreneurs. They came here from Taiwan 30 years ago with barely anything, and pretty much from day one just started working for themselves, like very entrepreneurial.
Yeah.
So they've had several businesses throughout my life. And when I was about to start high school, they decided, let's open a new business in San Diego. And what they did was construction and remodeling. So we moved to Poway, and that's where I started high school.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Okay. Did why LA? Did you ever ask them why they came over and right to LA?
Yeah, well, it's just a big hub for the Asian population to immigrate to. It's a big Asian population there, and a lot of opportunity. So one of the first businesses that my parents started was my dad just bought like a beat up old truck and drove it around himself, sometimes with my mom, who was pregnant with me, and he would just move furniture for people, and that's how they started. Eventually, a few years later, that transformed into one of the largest logistics company, like trucking businesses in Los Angeles.
Really?
So that's kind of where I got my entrepreneurial bug from.
That's incredible. Now, when you go back, we were talking earlier, you said that you're like, oh, I was just always busy and doing like little jobs, like you moved away, did your own thing. I looked at your LinkedIn.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, job from here to here, job.
There's stuff I haven't even
And then
put
it
on
was
there.
like, click for 14 more. I'm like, I don't think anybody has ever, I was like, dang, no joke. You really put in the work. You
Yes.
nonstop since you were just little.
Yeah, because I feel like life is too short just to do one job.
Yeah.
of course, grass is greener, right? You know, there were times where I was struggling, especially living in San Francisco on a very limited hourly pay, especially as a pastry chef. It was hard. It was hard making ends meet. But I've always been that type of person where I just like to take every opportunity that comes across my way, try it out. If it doesn't work out, move on to the next opportunity.
That's amazing.
And then I say grass is greener because during that time when times would be hard for me, I'd look at my friends I went to college with. I went to UCLA. And so a lot of my friends and classmates went on to very corporate jobs and would have 401ks. And I'd be like, oh, you know, maybe I should have done that. But I love how my life has turned out. I have so many life experiences through different careers I've had. I wouldn't change it for the world.
That's amazing. Yeah. So you came down back to San Diego, moved to San Diego, and then you're like, oh, I'm going to go back to UCLA. I'm going to go back to Los Angeles. So you went to college and you majored in psychology.
Yes,
if
correct.
That's correct. Why psychology?
Well, I actually entered as pre-med. I entered as a biology major, and I quickly found out, wow, I am no longer the smartest kid in class.
Isn't that crazy? Yeah.
Yeah, and so it was really tough for me just being on that track because I came from an environment where I was one of the smartest kids in class. And then when you're in a classroom where everyone else is also super smart, I just felt like I was studying all the time but not getting the grades I wanted, trying to juggle all these different activities. And so I've always been interested in people. I've always been a people person. I've always had, a lot of close relationships. It's easy for me to make friends. And I decided to explore psychology and just, better understand people, because that's always a skill you can use in any job that you have, any business you want to have, because any business at the end of the day is a people business.
Right.
Yeah. So it worked out really well for me, and I actually graduated early.
Well, that's amazing.
Yeah.
So really the age-long question is, not that you don't support college, but I have kids now, so that my daughter's 12, and there was at one point I'm not a college graduate, but my wife is, and she literally told my daughter the other day, she's like, "Don't go to college." How do you feel about that? Like being in debt or going to college? But like you said, if you can go out and do what you did, where you had the both. You have the skill set of both. You have the college education, and you also have the people skill. I think if you can have that people skill, like I was telling my daughter, I'm like, you got to get out. You got to get out of this room for one thing, and start mingling a little better. But what is your suggestion on that? Not that anything's wrong with but what do you think?
That's a really good question. It's a conversation I've had with my husband. We just got married in July of last year.
Congratulations.
And so we're talking about these things, and I would say, because UCLA was not cheap, and it's only getting more expensive. Education is very expensive in America. And I would say that I would let my kid just explore what they want to do, let them have time to do that.
Right.
I have plenty of friends who went to community college after high school.
Yeah.
And then do the transfer thing after they've already figured out what it is they want to do. Because a lot of times kids these days are so pressured into getting all the good grades and doing all the extracurriculars. They don't really have time to think about, okay, what do I actually want to do? Yeah. And so you kind of choose a major, kind of like in my case where, okay, my parents want me to be a doctor. I'm going to go pre-med. And then I was depressed. So then that ends up being a waste of money if your kid drops out of college, right? So I would allow my own children to kind of explore what they want to do. And
100%.
Then kind of give them the space to do that.
That's a great answer, because my poor daughter came to me. She's crying. She's like, "Mom doesn't want to go to college."
And she's only 12.
And she's only 12, but she was talking about it because I think she's already just kind of exploring. Like she likes theater, and she's exploring her options and stuff like that. So it's, I'm like, do what you want. I'll pay for college. We'll figure it out.
Yeah,
it's not that I don't
exactly.
want you to go to college, because sometimes it's not about going to class, and it's building those relationships, with friends. I mean, I had the best, if I could go back, I'd go back to college. It was the best time. Yeah. I didn't finish probably because I had too much fun, but it was the best time. You build those relationships.
Absolutely.
And so it's
for a lifetime.
For a lifetime. Unless you're going to be a doctor, or a specific, skill set. But if you can sell or be a people person, I feel like you'll always have something to do.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Absolutely.
So after college, did you move back to San Diego?
I moved to San Diego for a little bit, and I decided I want to explore. Put out a bunch of resumes, New York City, Boston, San Francisco, any big
anywhere.
city.
Okay,
Yeah, because
you
I
like the
was
city,
like,
girl.
the world is my oyster. I just want to get out and experience life because I grew my entire life in Southern California.
Yeah.
First company that called me back was in San Francisco. I went up there to interview, got the job, and then a week later, I packed one suitcase and moved up there.
That's incredible. And how long did you stay up there?
I stayed there for 3 years.
Okay.
And about 6 months in of my newfound independence, I met my now husband. And yeah, it was a blast. I learned a lot in my experience there.
How long were you there then?
3 years.
Okay. Oh, yeah. How long ago was that?
Oh, that was about 7 or 8 years ago.
Wow. So you guys have been...
No. Maybe 10 years ago. Oh my God, I feel old.
Oh, yeah. Don't tell him. Your anniversary. No. So you've known him that long, though.
I've known him we've been together 9 years.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
And then he finally popped the question? Or you finally got married last year?
Finally got married. It was very important to me that I wanted to build a solid foundation by buying a house first.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we did that in February in 2022. And then I'm crazy think about this now, but we bought a home that we could remodel. What was supposed to be, let's just replace the flooring and paint the cabinets, turned out to a full gut job. It took twice as long, from 2 months to 4 months, and we actually got married in our backyard in July. So it was a very stressful period of time.
So you bought the house together before pre-marriage.
Yes.
You're engaged.
Yes.
Did the renovation? I'm doing this because I did the same thing. So yeah,
Oh, yeah,
then you
awesome.
kind of get the okay. So then you were like, okay, we're gonna get married in our backyard. That's amazing.
Yeah.
So almost a year in now.
Almost a year in, and I'm loving it.
Now, okay, so we'll go back to that. But when did you were like, I'm gonna do real estate?
I'm going to do okay, that's a story.
So you're in San Francisco. 3 years.
Yep.
Met your now husband. Okay. I'm just trying to do a timeline for everybody here. Okay. Now we stopped there. Did you come back to San Diego because of that? You guys different?
So I was at a point where I was like, okay, cool. San Francisco is fun. I've had a lot of fun here, making friends, doing a lot of different jobs, but I'm not saving any money. I want to be closer to my family.
Expensive.
Like this was a fun.
San Francisco, come to San Diego.
Yeah, exactly. I've helped a lot of people move down from San Francisco, actually. Yeah. And so I was like, hey, DJ, my husband, I'm going to move back home. We'll figure it out. Like,
yeah.
And he was like,
the
I'm
black sheep
you.
over here is just like, hey, you're going to follow me. If not,
It was not a discussion. It's like,
no,
I'm going back home.
Yeah, exactly.
Are you staying or are you coming?
Packed her one suitcase back up.
I'm done here.
Coming and going. Okay, so you told him, hey.
Yeah,
I
want to be closer to my mom,
Yeah,
and then
good.
He was like, first thing he said was, well, I'm going to come with you.
That's
I'm
amazing.
Like, oh, okay. So it's been 8 years since that.
So it wasn't kind of like the hint, like, hey, I want to break up with him. Like, if I move back, then you knew DJ was the guy.
Yes.
We'll cut. No, I'm just kidding. But no. But I
was so young.
You were young.
Like,
yeah.
How can you possibly know that age?
Exactly.
Yeah, we never lived together. So when he moved down here, when we started living together and going through different life experiences, different career changes on both of our sides. So I think when he moved down here, he really showed me he was committed.
Good.
Yeah.
That's kind of the ultimate test.
Yeah, that's
the female ultimate test. Like, see how good this guy is.
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah, exactly. If not, I'm going to move on.
Yeah. Good for you. So you moved down here. We're talking about real estate. So we're going into real estate when you moved down here? Or, okay, tell me the story. All right, you're here. You're here in San Diego.
Okay, I'm here in San Diego. I've been gone for a few years. My parents still have their construction business, and they've always wanted me to take over. And I was like, nope, because just growing up with that is a very stressful line of work. But that's how I had real estate planted in my mind for a very long time. Like, I've always loved homes for fun. I just go with my mom to open houses on the weekend, just look at design. But I continued my career in tech, actually.
Okay.
When I moved down here, because it kind of started in San Francisco. And here I transitioned into digital marketing, and I was really good at it. I had a career for about 6-7 years, specializing in search engine optimization.
Oh, wow.
And I still love it. I'm super passionate about the craft. And I ended up working for some of the top ad agencies in San Diego. I've worked with clients including Airbnb, TurboTax, a lot of big name brands, and loved what I did. But at the end of the day, I just kind of got burnt out, like being in the very fast-paced startup environment, juggling dozens of clients at a time.
It's kind of cutthroat, right?
It's very cutthroat.
It's just, yeah. You're too sweet to be in that.
Thank you.
No, but yeah, I totally get that.
Yeah. But I still love what I did.
Yeah.
I just didn't like who I was doing it for.
Right. Yeah.
And so one day I just had like a light bulb moment, and I was like, wait a minute. I'm using all my skills to help these other companies
build a brand,
generate a lot of revenue and make more money, convert more clients. Why don't I do that for myself?
Yeah.
Right? And what happened next, fast forward to 2020, I decided to get my real estate license.
Yeah.
In the middle of a pandemic. I got my license in July of 2020.
Really?
Yes.
Wow.
And at that point, I was like, am I crazy for switching careers during the middle of a pandemic? But I knew myself. I've never been the type of person to be able to do two things at once successfully. I have to be all in.
Awesome.
And it's worked out. Yeah.
That's great because, Tony will, like I said earlier, this is their 20th episode. Mm-hmm. And there is a handful of people who sat in that chair and said the same thing. It hits you.
Right.
Like you either can ignore it or you go for it. And just you sitting down in the chair and just talking for this short period of time, you're the go for it sort of thing. Like you knew what you wanted to do. And so that's amazing. And you're making an awesome career out of it right now.
Right. So I got licensed in 2020. And the first thing I did was I utilized my tech background, my SEO skills. I built a website for myself, SherryChenRealty.com.
I love it.
And I put up a bunch of content. I worked probably 100 hours on this thing.
Yeah.
And even to this day, 2 years later, I'm still getting leads from my website. I've never bought a single lead ever. And 2021 was my first year of production. I won the Gold Award from SDAR.
You're just reading from my notes, but keep it going. That's what I love. Like, that's what I'm saying. In a short period of time, the SDAR award, the Gold
Award.
Yeah,
and then last year, 2022, I won the Rising Star Award from the California Association of Realtors. So something tells me I'm doing the right thing.
No, the hustle. And this is, when I kind of talk about our outline of the show is like one big part is the hustle.
Right.
And so that's where you started in that marketing or the, digital background, which is amazing. Mm-hmm. So you kind of knew where you're going to go. In the pandemic, how scary. Right. I mean, again, I followed her wrong Instagram. It was she has 2 Instagrams, by the way. And do you like doing both? Your personal, do you like having your personal private and stuff?
I do, but I'm excited for some new marketing that I'm going to be unleashing this year to try to make everything more cohesive.
Yeah, stay
and
tuned, people.
Not just real estate, but I really want to touch on how amazing it is to live in San Diego and the lifestyle behind it.
Right.
Yeah.
And you should, because you've been here for so long.
Yeah,
California, the whole part of California.
Yeah.
Like you love going out to farmers markets and different things. So that's what people want.
Yes.
They want to know where those places are. I'm 8 years in and I'm like, where's the farmer's market? Like what like what days, what times? Because they're on Thursdays sometimes, just in random places. They are.
Yeah.
They are.
They are.
Like I drive past this thing, they're all Thursday afternoon from 12 to 5.
Yeah.
I'm like, why would I go out to there for a farmer's market? But you never know.
Yeah, I mean, shout out to OB Farmers Market is my favorite.
I love that. Nice.
Ocean Beach every Wednesday.
Wednesday.
Yep.
Are you
You'll
missing
probably
it today?
see me there. Probably, but it's okay.
Oh, we'll get you there. We'll get you there. Well, that's amazing. Okay, so you love the farmers market. Mm-hmm. You love San Diego. So that's how you build your career and everything. So you're gonna take your 2 Instagrams and kind of showcase you.
Yeah, showcase more of my personality, because I'm sure this has been the case for a lot of other agents. The past 2 years have been nuts. So not a lot of time I was able to use to focus on my branding and marketing, because I was out there making deals happen.
Yeah,
so this year's
tough.
my big goal is to kind of bring myself to allow people to get to know who I am before they even reach out to me.
Well, we'll follow back, so then we know that one Instagram that everybody can follow.
Right.
Yeah, I noticed that on your real estate page that you 2020 August of 2020 was your first post. So I was like, oh, this is like when she first started. So if you go to your page, but it's a great page because it's all informational.
Right.
And so you're the ADU agent.
Yes, I am.
So tell us what that means. Like, why do you you're a specialist in this?
I am a specialist in this. So something that I skipped early on about my journey down to San Diego and transition into real estate was between my experience working with ad agencies and then getting my real estate license, I was actually doing some consulting on the side, working with a number of ADU companies, because ever since 2017, ADUs have exploded.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of demand for that here. So one of the companies I worked with, they actually specialize in ADU design and architecture. So that's kind of how I learned everything you need to know. So all the zoning regulations, how big can you build on a certain lot, what are kind of like the zoning overlays you should look for, building regulations. And so when I got my license, I was like, okay, there are thousands, maybe tens of thousands of agents here in San Diego County.
Yeah.
What am I going to do to make myself stand out?
Right.
I've never sold real estate before. I'm going to call myself the ADU agent.
That's amazing.
And just utilize all the knowledge that I acquired. And I started building content on my website and advertised myself that way. And when I first started, my Instagram handle was actually the ADU agent.
Okay.
And maybe a few months after I got my license, I got a DM from someone looking for property to build an ADU on. And that DM ended up being my first solo deal. And I closed that in November.
Isn't that amazing?
Yeah.
Yep, right?
And that property, so it was a duplex, and it had a huge lot, 15,000 square feet. Today, they're about to finish construction. He's added 8 ADUs on this property.
Wow.
For a total of 10 units. So that's some of the incredible things that are happening in San Diego.
Yeah, that's incredible. So because a lot of this is going to go, so a lot of agents know what ADUs are, but like for people who don't, will you explain a little bit more about what an ADU is?
Yeah, so ADU stands for accessory dwelling unit.
Right.
You can also call it granny flat. Some people call it casitas.
In-law suites.
In-law suite.
Yeah.
Guest quarters. At the end of the day, it's an ADU.
Right.
In terms of what the state recognizes it as. Yeah.
Now, what's the benefits of having an ADU on your property?
So there's a lot of great benefits.
Yeah.
So first is rental income. So a lot of my clients are looking to build ADUs to capitalize off of, tourism in San Diego is really huge.
Huge.
Rent is really high in San Diego. So having the ability to cut your mortgage in half is very attractive.
Yeah.
I'm doing that on my own house, actually.
Are you really?
Yes. So we bought our property in February, and it had an ADU in the back. We just rented out, and it's literally cutting our mortgage in half. And just the freedom that it creates is super valuable. And the number 2 is one of the most popular reasons why people build ADUs is to house their elderly parents.
Yeah.
Because especially what was happening during COVID at nursing homes, like it just gives them peace of mind to have your loved ones be closer to home.
Yeah.
Right? And make sure they're healthy and protected. And then number 3, with all of the above, you're building your property value and your equity.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. Is it affordable to build the ADUs right now, or?
Well, construction's expensive.
Right.
As it has been in the last few years, especially with COVID, supply chain issues.
Yeah.
But if you're able to see the long-term benefits of ADUs, it's definitely worth it.
Yeah.
On that note,
Go ahead.
The state of California has a great grant program issued by an organization called CalHFA. Yeah. They're giving homeowners $40,000
Wow.
to build your ADU.
That's because we're so scarce on housing.
The state of California is in a housing crisis.
Yeah.
That's why ADUs were even introduced in the first place. So I encourage, if you're interested in building an ADU, check out that program.
Yeah.
And before the funds run out. Yeah.
That's great. Say the program again, just so we know.
Cal HFA.
Okay. And I knew what I was going to say now is if you're going to build an ADU, do it right. Right? That's the biggest thing too.
Yeah.
You don't, especially if you're housing, if you're getting income from it, you don't want to be like, hey, I got this house in the back. You want to rent for, and it's not up to code or like.
Right. Not worth the liability.
It's not worth the liability. Protect yourself when you're out there and you're doing it. Do it right.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly. Versus redoing it later.
Yeah. Call the ADU agent.
Call me. You'll be good. Yeah.
Well, that's amazing. So you're going to do it to your own home. We were talking earlier about, you bought your house. When was it again? July?
February.
Okay. You start renovating yourself here. Mm-hmm. You run into problems. I'm running into the same problems. Like things happen.
Super common.
You don't know.
Yeah.
That's one of the biggest issues. Like people skip inspections sometimes, or especially during the pandemic, it was like you're buying stuff. But even like now, inspectors they miss stuff, or homeowners may not put stuff down that like in a disclosure report. And so I'm going to throw this out there. You're protected. You used New Venture Escrow.
Yes.
Okay. Can you give us a little bit more about that?
Yeah, absolutely. So lack of seller disclosure is super common in our industry, and doesn't mean that the seller had the intention of leaving something out.
Right.
If they've lived there for so long, could you count how many times you made a change to the property? Probably not,
Yeah.
So we bought our house, and about a few months after we closed escrow, we started renovation, and we pulled up all the floors, gutted the bathroom, everything. And basically we ran into an issue with our bathroom. It was extensive water damage that the seller never disclosed. So luckily we worked with New Venture.
Yeah.
And I knew that there was a seller protection policy.
Right.
So we got that started. And it was I expected it to be a super complicated process, frustrating maybe, but basically it was smooth and easy. And I disclosed everything that was not disclosed,
right.
and the cost to fix it. My contractor was there. He gave me a quote, provided all the paperwork, and we got a check in the mail, and both parties were happy.
At the end of the day, that's all you want.
Exactly.
Is to protect your, the seller, the buyer, it's everybody.
Yeah.
It's not just like, oh, okay, you're protected, but you're not. But, it worked out for everybody.
Exactly.
Everybody's happy.
Yeah.
And that's you being an agent experiencing it. Like, can you imagine if you had a client that went through that and they're calling you every day and being like, I just ripped up my floors and da-da-da. And if you have that protection, then you tell them, hey, I got this. And now you've experienced it too. So you can say, we use New Venture, and you have that protection.
Yeah, absolutely. It just makes sense.
Yeah, it does make sense. For sure. So let's go into the little bit of I like to go back to your awards. Your awards are amazing. 2 years, you're doing great. What's your hustle? What's your day-to-day? Tell us the life of Sherry in the morning. Like, you wake up, what do you love doing?
Well, what I love doing is making my coffee.
Gotta get the coffee. Gotta get
caffeinated, and I have like a ritual. I do a pour over coffee. I take my time.
Do the pour over,
yes.
Nice.
I bloom it, everything, and when I have that first sip, then that's when the day starts for me. Yeah.
What's the temperature you brew yours at?
Oh, I don't get that technical.
You don't get that technical? Okay. But there is a certain temperature, because if you go too hot, you'll burn the coffee.
Right.
So it tastes a little burnt. Okay, so you got your coffee.
Yep.
You head into the office. Do you go to the office, or do you have a home office?
I have a home office.
Nice.
So it makes things a little easier. I do miss going to an office. So that's one of my goals this year, is kind of going to our downtown office, which is amazing. But I basically follow up with clients. I check out the new listings.
Yeah.
Because I'm very active on that. What are the new listings coming up? Do I have a buyer for this? Making my calls, and then showing property.
Yeah.
And lately I've been, especially during the holiday season we just came out of, market was a little slow.
Right.
I made it a point to schedule an in-person meeting at least once a week with a past client of mine.
Oh,
just to
well,
catch
that's good.
up. And,
yeah.
And several people told me, hey, we're going to look to buy next year.
That's
and
amazing.
So, yeah.
Yeah,
Just
you never
having
know.
more touch points.
Yeah, take them to the farmer's market.
Yeah, that would be
tell 'em,
fun.
yeah, do a little farmer. Hey, I'm going to farmer's market. That's why you need like both of your
Right,
you know, your
right.
personal.
You're so right.
Yeah, you're gonna get there.
Yeah.
I'm so bad at Instagram stuff, but the
He is.
I'm
hard
trying.
to
It's
keep
hard.
up. Yeah, he is
I'm
bad.
behind the technology. It's tough
Yeah.
for us, you know, older people to get like caught up.
Yeah.
I don't know the trends.
You don't know,
I love
yeah.
watching the trends, but I don't know. Like,
You like to consume the content.
yes.
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 He likes to lurk in the background. Same as me.
Like, scrolling out, yeah.
Do you think that technology has really changed real estate? I mean, you kind of jumped in during the biggest change. You know, we were
Right.
talking about virtual reality. Virtual reality really accelerated in the pandemic. Zoom, virtual tours. People don't even have to go
Right.
into the property anymore to see if they want to buy it or not. Like, and you're more of a buyer's agent, correct?
Yep.
So how does that help you?
So my phone. Everything is
right?
conducted from my phone. Last 2 years, I've sold several properties virtually from out of area clients who, you know, I feel very grateful that they instilled their trust in me.
Right.
But the iPhone made it happen, you know, just having a camera and being able to share to a Google Drive,
Yeah.
doing tours that way, but also being with Compass as a brokerage. Compass is very well known as a tech forward company. And so the tools that we have access to make it very easy to,
Yeah.
to just collaborate with clients and
Right.
compete.
Here's another question. Do you think the agent is ever going to be obsolete?
No.
Never.
There have been several companies that
Try.
tried to replace the agent.
Yeah, right.
Right? But no one's ever going to replace that personal touch or
Right.
that judgment or, you know, I've seen a lot of homes with a lot of issues. A
Yeah.
bot's not going to be able to tell a buyer, hey, you need to watch out for this furnace. It's probably going to, on the last legs of its life
Yeah.
in the next 6 months. Or, you know, inspectors and everyone are there to help. But no one can replace the personal touch of a human being being there. And also, yes, being a real estate agent, you make money off of selling homes.
Yeah.
But I would say that most of my job personally is, you know, you want to be the person that someone trusts to make one of the biggest decisions in their life.
Yeah.
Do you think a bot could do that?
No. No,
Yeah.
it would try as hard as it could probably, but
Right.
it, you know, again, you're like your vision in your head as a home buyer is so different. It's hard to translate. You can type in the generic like, yeah, I want 4 bedrooms. I want a big backyard.
Yeah.
But until you walk into that home and you know, a bot's not gonna be like, well, can you see your, you know,
Right.
it's gonna be you being like, look at this is gonna be your daughter's room.
Yeah.
This is gonna be your son's room.
Yeah.
Like, can you just imagine you having parties here on the weekends?
Exactly.
It's just little touches like that you build a picture in their head to, you know, that being their forever home.
Right. Or what their life could look like.
Yeah.
There's a famous park around the corner. Can you see yourself doing picnics there on the
That's
weekend?
true. Yeah.
Or a lot of times as a real estate agent, you're a therapist for
Yeah.
people. It's a huge emotional, stressful sometimes decision that people have to make. And you really have to be there to guide emotionally and financially, mentally.
Yeah.
And not to forget negotiation too.
Right.
A lot of it is negotiation
Yeah, that's true.
to make the deal happen.
I know. And they've it's kind of weird because they've taken that out of being a car buying,
Right.
right? Now you go to CarMax, they're like, no negotiation.
One price.
Yes, this is what you're getting. Don't try.
Right.
Yeah, but I totally agree. You know, and your big niche too. If you're being, you know, you're a foodie. That's like you just said, like such and such restaurant is amazing down here.
Right.
That's what people want. They want to be welcomed in that neighborhood already. They want to feel like they're part of that neighborhood before they even move in. And that's how you know, this is my favorite restaurant. You love Italian? I'm going to put you close to the Italian restaurant.
Yes, absolutely.
You've got kids? This is the school district you want to be in.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah. I mean, you can see, and you can give experiences. You know, like, oh, this they accelerate math here. They do a lot of STEM programs here. They're, you know, you're gonna see on Zillow and stuff. They're like 9 out of 10 in this school. Like, yeah, but you want to know.
But that's just numbers.
That's just
What does
it
mean?
is. It's numbers. Yeah.
Yeah, because at the end of the day, people are looking for a home, not just a house.
Right. That's amazing. Yeah, they're never gonna go away. Well, it's been amazing interviewing you. Tony just showed me we're at the hour. Does it feel like we've been sitting here for an hour?
No.
Right?
It was like 30 minutes.
Yeah.
I know. We feel like we just sat down.
And I stood quiet.
And you stood quiet. Yeah. It's not about
I'm just kidding.
I knew he was going to hold that all night.
No.
Oh, man.
I usually stay quiet in this part.
No, he does.
Okay.
That's right. That's exactly what I said. I was like, he likes to answer those questions, but he'll be quiet for the next 30 to 40 minutes.
I was joking.
No. Okay, so I like to finish this, because this will still take a little bit, but I like to finish our segment with finish the sentence.
Okay.
No wrong answer again. It's all about you.
Ready.
Are you ready?
Yeah.
Okay, this first one always stumps people. I can't believe I actually blank when I was younger.
How young are we talking here?
Nobody's gonna know the difference, but like, you did something like, I can't believe I got away with doing this sort of thing when I was younger.
Okay, so I can't believe that I dined and dashed in Tokyo
What?
when I was in my 20s.
Did you really?
Yeah,
Was
I've
it?
never done that since or before that. Not a proud moment.
Wow. But you can't, but that's the best one I've heard.
Yeah.
Like, people are like, I don't know what I could say, but that was good.
The
And then,
adrenaline was there, and mind you, the restaurant was very rude to us. So
Oh,
so
that's,
they deserved it.
was it peer pressure? You can blame it on your friends. It's okay.
I didn't initiate it.
Okay,
So
you didn't.
I didn't initiate. So everyone was gone. I was like, if I stay here, I'm gonna be caught with a bill. I'm gonna run too.
Yeah. Kind
So
of
you didn't have an option now.
No, I didn't have. I had no choice.
Yeah, yeah.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
I like that.
So how do you guys you just walked out like normally and like, or like going to the bathroom?
Yeah, because I didn't want to cause a scene.
Yeah.
Right, and it was like kind of like a
tells your strategy.
Hey, I don't know if we get away from it here.
Well, remain calm. That will take you far in life. But this was a kind of higher end Japanese restaurant where we had to actually remove our shoes before entering.
Oh, you had to
So
grab
that
your
was a challenge. That was a
Yeah.
challenge because I was walking calmly out the door and I was like, oh shoot, I don't have shoes. So I had to go find it, put them on calmly, walk out a few paces, and then I ran down the alley.
I was gonna say, but I feel like Tokyo, everybody is just calm
Yeah, you
in
can just
general.
blend in,
Yeah, you
too,
kind of
yeah.
just blend in. That's
Yeah.
just they're like, it's the benefit of the doubt everybody gives you there. Here, everybody, social media and like people, as soon as you start running, they're on their phone. Back then too, 20, like you're in your 20s, we probably didn't have like the fan, flip. There were probably more flip phones, and so like now it's like anything happens.
Yeah. Take the phone out.
Yep, she's caught. She just dined and dashed.
Thank
yeah,
goodness.
Yeah.
right. I know you can't get away with that now.
Yeah.
You ever did that, Levi?
No, I can't.
You're such a good boy.
Yeah.
You
shouldn't.
it
You
was
shouldn't.
that it was that high regard.
Yeah.
When we go back to that high regard, like my dad,
your
like
dad.
sort of thing. Like
Yeah.
I didn't, it's like it always is that age-long question of like, would you rather be feared or like loved
respect.
or something? Yeah, or
Or
respect.
both, like they say.
Yeah, I was kind of like, I didn't fear my dad, but I respected him so much that I just didn't want to disappoint him.
Yeah.
So like that, like he also wanted to be a police officer, and my mom didn't let him. And so he volunteered for all that, like 88 crime, and still to this day he volunteers for 88 crime. I remember going to the police station when I was little, and we would answer phones of like tips on like criminals, and it was fun for me. And then like he does victim witness too, where he goes and he explains. It's a sad thing, but he goes and to any victims of like someone who's lost a loved one, and like goes and sits with them or tells them like, sorry, like your so and so has passed, and
That's a tough
he
one.
does it as a volunteer. Like he was built, but he just never was in the line of fire. So like so he knew a lot of police officers. So I'm like, I better keep my nose clean.
He's like,
I just,
he's like a man's
It was
man.
almost like you lived in a like a
He
police,
likes it.
police
He-
home, but
Yeah.
he just so
Finds
man.
fulfillment.
he was the one where it was you walk in late. I was the only one in my friend group that had a curfew, but I would always walk in late, and he'd be sitting in the dark, and he wouldn't say anything to me.
Yeah.
He would go to bed. He wasn't mad. Like I would never get yelled at, but you felt so shitty afterwards. Like
That was loud enough.
that was loud enough. Him just walking away, knowing I just caused him no sleep for the night.
Yeah.
Him having to get up and work a full day and then go and volunteer like his time. Like that was nuts. So that's where I So to dine and dash, if you ever found out, now to these days,
It's
no,
not worth it.
I've done things and I've told him now and he laughs about it. But like back then,
Yeah.
I get
Well,
scared.
back then, because you're an adult now.
Yeah, I'm an adult now. Yeah,
Back
am I?
then, back then he was still like trying to steer you
Yeah,
to be a man.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
a good man.
A good man.
You are.
But again,
you're
if,
a good man.
Succeeded.
again, if everybody was dining and dashing, I would have probably said, "You're right, I'm out."
Yeah.
So I get yours. Like
Yeah.
you, yeah.
Also, I couldn't afford that bill.
Oh, what are you doing in
Right.
Tokyo with that? Yeah, I couldn't do that. All right. I know, well, this might go hand in hand. I know this is weird, but well, you're not, it doesn't go hand in hand, but I know this is weird, but I really like to. I was going to say dine and dash.
I didn't.
but-
No, that's not a thing I do regularly.
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
This is weird.
I know this is weird, but I really like to. Somebody told me, what was it? They watched videos of people running into signs or something, tripping.
Oh my
Yeah.
gosh,
Like they like
that would
that.
stress me out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or someone said like pimples. Like
That was me.
Oh,
yeah.
oh, yeah.
I don't know what it is about it, but like
I know.
like you watch one, you're like, ugh.
It's
and like,
gross but satisfying.
let me see another one.
Yes,
No.
I cannot watch that.
And
bro.
then you're like 2 hours later,
Too
like,
much for
what
me.
am I still doing?
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
my weird thing.
Oh wow.
Some
okay.
dude likes to watch dogs eat raw food.
That's
Oh,
weird. I don't know.
what?
That's yeah.
Like
Oh,
he,
that's
there's
very
like
healthy, too.
there's like a whole TikTok channel that he has like a pit bull and he just gives him like carrots, tomatoes, you know,
Oh,
And
like
peop-
vegetables.
vegetable, and also like raw meat. And, like all you see is the dog like, and you stay there like, hey.
Yeah.
What is he gonna eat next?
Yeah.
Oh, no, that is weird. I guess. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
something. Anything? Do you have
Well,
any?
I don't know how weird this is on the spectrum, but I find a lot of satisfaction out of just going, like, let's say I haven't been to the grocery store in like a whole week.
Okay.
And there's like barely anything. I like to just make myself a meal out of what I have, even if it's just like dry pasta, some spinach, and a can of sardines, or like just like mix and match anything that I have,
Yeah.
and just make something because I have to rely on pure creativity.
Yeah.
And
Does it turn
I
out
really
great?
liked it. Well, I like it,
Well, yeah.
and it's usually when I'm just cooking for myself.
yeah. You don't have to feed it to anybody, but
Yeah,
But
yeah.
you have that knack. Like, where did that come from?
I've just always loved to cook.
You always
and,
loved to cook.
and eat, and
there you go.
explore.
I became.
restaurants.
I said farmer the other day. My wife was like, "You're not a farmer," but we became a. What do you do?
CSA box.
No, you
okay.
you know one of those. You build a flower bed or the plant
Oh,
beds, and you
yeah,
become
yeah.
a.
Farmer?
Not a I know. I said farmer. I was like, oh, I became a farmer. She's like, we had cows and chickens. Like, what are you talking about? I'm like, no, we,
Agriculture?
Like a planter box.
Yeah, planter box. What do they call those now? Like, we became a.
Agriculture?
No, we grew tomatoes and we grew avocado, like different things.
Oh wow.
During the pandemic.
I have one eggplant that survived from.
Did you
my-
have one eggplant?
Yeah.
Japanese eggplants, by the way.
It's a Japanese eggplant. Yes.
We just threw stuff into the ground because anything in San Diego will grow. Basically, if you
Right.
grow like just you do it and you just rip them out when they're done. You plant a new one for $4. We had probably 60. We couldn't keep up. We had to give them away because
Oh
they
my
don't grow
goodness.
that big. But she loved them because they almost tasted like an artichoke heart.
Yes, and it's super rich in flavor and
Yeah.
sweet. Yeah.
They don't grow when everybody thinks of eggplant where they're just like this giant
No.
thing. These Japanese ones
Yeah.
are just amazing.
Small, thin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We did zucchini, just different tomatoes. You know,
Oh
during
my
the pandemic,
gosh,
we're like,
that's
let's
amazing.
start planting our own food. It
It's
was
so-
great.
Yeah. Like how rewarding is it to just walk into your backyard, cut something and cook it
It's
and
pretty
feed your
cool.
family, right?
Yeah. Yeah, you have to be
Pros and cons.
No, but you have to be consistent because you also feel really bad of growing it,
And then
and
it just,
it goes to
goes bad.
waste.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
And but it also makes you realize how much preservatives are in everything.
right.
Because if my tomato that I'm cutting fresh doesn't last like more than 2 days, like out,
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
like, what's in this tomato that's been sitting in the supermarket for
For
Yeah.
a week.
for a week?
Yeah,
Like, I'm
that's
like,
true.
oh, so think about what you eat, but start. What do they call that? I'm not.
Yeah,
Farmer.
I don't know. But
I
that
don't know.
stuff, I mean, but
It's
that's
gonna
stuff
pop
to
in my
keep,
head.
man. To keep the, like, if you're like doing that as like a regular thing,
Yeah.
have food for yourself, that's a
Yeah,
tough.
a lot of maintenance.
Yeah, I don't think I can handle that.
No, you had to be in a pandemic to do it. you had to have a lot of time
Stuck
in your
at
hand.
home.
Yeah.
Because there was times where I'm sitting there in the dark and I'm pulling off these like caterpillars because they just go through them. and you're pulling off these things, you're just throwing them off. Like you go in there, your leaves are, a lot of
and you want to keep
pests.
it organic, so you don't want to like spray
you don't want to spray
stuff on it.
Yeah, there's different ways to do it. So it's a lot of work. And then once your like zucchini gets infected, you're like, no, and you got to try to cut out it's.
Oh my gosh!
So
I gotta hit you up for tips.
Yeah.
No. There's different. Okay. Here's a tip right now. I'm gonna tell you right now. Ones with flowers, so like zucchinis, pumpkins. I want to say there's a male and female flower.
Oh.
And you can tell.
Yeah.
I'm not going to draw you a picture or anything, but you can tell between the male and female. And so you have to pollinate them. Because if you don't have bees or anything that will do it for you, I had to take, a friend told me this, I had to take a paintbrush, take the pollination from the male, and rub it on the female, and then
fruit.
And then and then your zucchini will grow a lot, because I noticed like zucchini would grow and then it would just die. I'm like, what's going on? They're not pollinating each other to like actually like grow to a fullest. So just a little thing out there.
You are a farmer.
I am a little without the chickens and the pigs and stuff. Yeah. The things you learn in the pandemic.
Yeah.
But that maybe okay. I'm gonna get back to it. We just moved too, so I gotta get another garden. Gardener. I'm a gardener. Oh my goodness. Sorry, that took can we cut back to where it's like it just pieces it back and I get that right away? A gardener. God, people are gonna watch this and be like, gardener. It's a gardener, dude. Come on.
A gardener.
Yeah, he's just yelling at the screen. Okay. Next question.
Or 2 years?
Yeah.
Just kidding. Now we have one.
I laugh when
my pug, who's 13 years old.
You're a pug mama.
I'm a pug mama. I love pugs. When she just gives me attitude over nothing.
Really? You just laugh at her?
I just laugh because she just gets sassier the older she gets, and it's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you see? That's why you need a full. Does she have an Instagram?
No.
You haven't started that one either.
No.
There are groups of pug people. Like pug.
I know.
You go to them like the dog
pugs.
parks. You go to the dog park?
I've been to one. There was a pug festival in Coronado once.
Oh yeah.
They're all dressed up. I was in heaven.
On the dog beach or
No, it was on the other beach that's like facing downtown.
Oh, the Bayside. Okay.
Yeah.
That's incredible. That's how you're gonna pick up new clients here. You gotta
look out for Pearl on
Pearl the
my
pug.
Instagram this year.
That's a good one. No, seriously, people will find a similar interest and be like, "Oh, she has a pug. I got a pug. I want to sell with her. She's such a beautiful woman."
Right.
Yeah.
There's also a lot of pugs in San Diego.
There are Are there pug breeders? Is it purebred? Pearl?
Yes.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
I love her. I've had her since she was really tiny.
How big?
Like this.
Dang.
And now she's like, I could barely like carry her.
How old is she now?
13.
She's 13.
She's
oh,
13.
Poor baby.
Still
Yes.
has energy.
Good for her.
I love her to pieces.
That's amazing. Is that your only dog?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Will you ever go back from a pug?
I would like to eventually have a big dog.
Okay.
My husband's really into Akitas, which I used to have one, but they're huge.
Oh, they're
and
huge.
a lot of fur.
A lot of shedding.
So I'd like a big dog, a dog that likes water.
Yeah.
We have so many
We're
great beaches
surrounded
here.
by water, yeah.
And Pearl hates the beach.
Oh.
Yeah, we took her to OB.
She's a diva.
Yeah, she's a total diva. Oh my gosh. We took her to OB Dog Beach once and thought, oh my God, she's going to have so much fun. We were having fun because we were like interacting with all the dogs, and then we turn around, where's Pearl? We find her all the way up the beach on the hill, sitting on someone else's surfboard because she didn't want to touch the sand.
Wow.
Oh my goodness. That is funny.
So that's Pearl right there.
Yeah.
There you
Diva
go.
Pearl.
Yes,
I love it.
Yes.
All right. I would die without
pasta.
pasta. You're a pasta lover.
I love pasta. It's my favorite food group.
What's your go-to?
My go-to is pesto pasta. Like if
Pesto.
that's anywhere on any menu, I'll get that.
Nice.
Yeah.
Do you grow your own basil?
No.
You should.
Not yet.
They're so easy.
Not
yeah.
yet. We'll get the potted ones from the store,
Yeah.
but they always
Yeah.
die.
Come from the gardener. No, you're right. Yeah. You got to put in like a
yeah, but I got to like do it the right way.
Yeah, you got to do it the right way.
Yeah.
You got to have time. It takes
Exactly.
some time to do
Yeah.
stuff like that. But I thought most people say coffee, but pasta is a good one. My wife is really into making this vodka pasta.
Oh my gosh.
But it's so heavy. I can't
What
eat
is
too much.
tomato?
It's tomato, but then it's that whipped cream that really is like, I can't, that's too much pasta. My daughter will eat it for every meal. But yeah, it's the too much of the whipped cream for me. Yeah. That's just too much. All right. In an ideal world, blank.
Whoa, that's very general.
It is very general.
There you go.
In an ideal world.
In an ideal world,
doesn't have to be cliche. For me, ideal world, there'd be no traffic. I can't stand traffic.
Gosh.
Like, that's how easy it is for me. Like, just get rid of traffic.
Not traffic.
Yeah, like, don't brake hard. People, you don't need to brake hard. Like, just go with the traffic.
Right.
I mean, I don't want any accidents. Don't drive fast. Like, there was a guy last night. I almost called the cops on. No brake lights. He's like inches from someone else's bumper.
Oh my gosh.
And I was like, this guy is gonna get somebody else in an accident. It was a black car. Couldn't see him. Yeah. But no traffic. Just like no road rage. How about that? An ideal world. Everybody just be safe out there.
Right.
See, that's how easy it is. An ideal world. What's your ideal world?
That's a toughie.
Yeah.
Because there's so many things.
There's so many things. Yeah. There's a lot of homeless here, so that would be nice to have places for them to go. And
right.
Yeah.
Right.
You can be selfish too. Like, what do you like? That you could be surrounded by pugs all day.
Oh my God, that'd be amazing.
Just getting kisses.
Just borrow the pugs, actually.
Yeah, right. Send them home.
Yeah. I think in an ideal world, what would make the world a better place, and I know this is kind of cliche, but something I've been thinking about a lot is just people slowing down.
Slowing down.
Yeah, just in general. You know, not being on Instagram so much or making comparisons, being envious, and just appreciating what you have and being grateful.
Yeah. I love these podcasts because they do come full circle. Like, legit. Like, you thought about that, and it's like, it comes back. Like, the whole envious thing. Yeah, slow down.
Yeah.
Be yourself.
Be yourself.
Be
it's
real.
so hard to just be yourself these days. Yeah.
It's hard to look at that, like, everybody, there's so many filters on everything. Like, just be real. And this is why we do this podcast, and I love doing this podcast, is to make you feel real. Because I think a lot of people who are doing these big purchases think that realtors are just like, no, I drive a nice car. And
it's like deal.
Yeah, deal. Yeah. You're just a ticket. You're just a number for me. Yeah. But it's not.
It's not. It's a very personal line of work.
Yeah, it really is. It's the human touch. It's the friendships that you build. I'm sure you still know a lot of people that you've bought and sold with. Like, it's.
Yes, I've made some of my best friends as they started as a client.
Yeah.
And now we are girlfriends and we hang out all the time.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah, it's amazing.
Yeah. So that's it. Slow down, people.
Yeah, just slow down.
Enjoy.
Appreciate.
Be real.
Yeah.
Be real. Okay. We'll do one more here.
Okay.
The advice I would give a new agent.
I actually have a lot of new agents that hit me up for advice. And I feel very fortunate to be in this position because I feel like I'm a new agent.
Yeah. True, but
right.
But again, you were an agent when it was nuts, so you have some advice because now it's changing.
Now it's changing. It's shifting.
Yeah.
And I will say that the advice I would give a new agent is, this is not what I did, but something that I would advise someone else starting here now in 2023 is, if you have a job that you're holding on to, try real estate on the side first to see if it's for you.
Yeah.
Because a lot of times people will quit, jump into it, realize 2 months later, I'm not cut out for this.
Yeah.
It's not for their lifestyle. It's not their personality fit, all these factors.
Yeah.
I would say, keep your job, do it for 6 months to a year doing real estate. And if you love it, then go for it.
Yeah.
Yeah. But be sure that this is what you want.
That's amazing. And I'm going to say
it's not easy.
It's not easy. And I'm going to tell you, because this is the 20th episode. We're going back to the 20th episode. For as little as you've been in it, you're so amazing. Just want to let you know that.
Thank you.
Your wisdom, just in the 2 years that you've grown, is incredible, because I've sat down here with people who've been in the business for 18 to 20 years, and that has been their story. There is a point in their life that it's real estate is like, you have to be almost comfortable and stable,
right?
Because it's commission based. It's commission based,
so
you have to be okay with risk. Be comfortable, especially if you have a family. Like, if you're gonna go into real estate, maybe try it out for a little bit on the side, and then when you're ready, go. When you're stable and you're ready to go for it, go full bore. And so that's amazing that you said that, because, right, Tony? I mean, we've heard that from seasoned agents that they knew when is because when they had a savings, or like
Right.
they got let go from a place and
Yep.
they had a good savings to be like, now I'm going to try this.
And a backup plan.
And
I
a backup
knew
plan.
that I could always go back to tech
Yeah.
because tech is always there.
It's always there.
If it didn't pan out for me, I could always work for another agency.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can always get a job.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, congratulations to all your success. And thank you for coming and joining us today.
Thank
I
you
think
so
this
much.
this has been amazing.
This was a blast.
This was so much fun. So I'm going to have you look in this camera, tell everybody like who you are, like what's next for you, where they can find you.
Yeah.
You do your thing.
I'm Sherry Chen. I am a real estate agent here in San Diego. I specialize in accessory dwelling units and investment properties. And you can find me at Sherry Chen Realty on Instagram, as well as sherrychenrealty.com. And let's make 2023 a successful one.
Awesome. Yeah, that was so good, Tony.
That was good. Yeah.
You gotta follow that up, Tony. Tony always
Yeah.
let's everybody know where they can find us. Let us know where they can find the What's Next podcast.
Well, guys, you guys can find us in any podcast platform. So go there, download these podcasts because there's a lot of good information here that you guys can learn from, right? Also, follow us on Instagram, TikTok, YouTube. Please go there, follow us, subscribe, ring that bell so you can get notifications and when we post a new episode. Right, Levi?
Yep.
Yeah. Also, go follow Levi Quesada, his Instagram. You can also DM him there. Ask him questions. He will he will happily reply to you.
Yeah. Force me to post more.
It forced him to post
Yes.
more. Yeah,
Me
he
too.
needs to put the same effort he puts on the podcast on his own personal brand. There you go.
Awesome. Well, thank you again. This has been amazing. And Tony, take us out.